We've covered a lot of physique events this year already, and I'll tell you, we've seen some great competitions, but there's none better in all of the United States than the Emerald Cup Bodybuilding Fitness and Figure Championships. Right now we got the two promoters for that show, Brad and Elaine Craig. I'll tell you what, let's start with Elaine. Ladies first, you don't mind, right, Brad?
I don't mind.
All right. Elaine, tell us a little bit about the show. I mean, kind of how it evolved and where it's at now and everything else.
Well, we started the show 23 years ago, and our vision was to expose as many people to bodybuilding. At that time, there was no figure and fitness, but to expose as many people to bodybuilding as we could. So, and that to have the competitors to have a good time and the spectators to enjoy themselves. So that has always been our vision from the very beginning, and it's kind of evolved from then. Now there's fitness and figure has been added, and it's just a real fun time. It's fun for us to do. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun too.
All right, great. Hey, Brad, what part do you play in all this? I know I always see you working backstage, both you and Elaine, real hard.
Well, Kim, I do all the, most pre-event planning, the sponsorship procurement, the things like that. Elaine does the ticketing and helps with that, different aspects. With the front door, I work mainly the back door, the back behind the scenes type things. Elaine's more the front door person. Our vision when we first started was to put on an event that was competitor friendly, and was because the only gig in town was the Burkholder show that was the Northwest and the Washington State, and we sent a lot of we both owned gyms at the time. We sent a lot of competitors into both those shows, and we didn't feel like they were getting a fair shake at the shows. I mean, they'd give out little teeny trophies, and they weren't treating the competitors properly. We decided we could maybe do a better job and promote our gyms at the same time. So that's how we got started with the show promotions, and that was our vision, was to make a competitor-friendly show that was enjoyable for everyone. And like Elaine said earlier, basically we both have our roles, and she's more front of the house, I'm more back of the house in sponsorship and show organization.
I'll tell you what, I mean, did you guys ever have a dream or a vision that this thing would grow as big as it is? I mean, we're talking about the biggest show in the United States.
Brad probably had more of a vision like that than I did, to be honest with you, because the larger it gets, the more work it becomes. So, but it keeps us in bodybuilding. I used to compete in bodybuilding, and now that I'm older, I'm not doing that anymore. So it keeps me involved in bodybuilding too. And Brad, he is the visionary for everything. I always say that he's the brains and I'm the blonde. So.
Now, earlier I was talking to Tony Ruggiero, and I was asking him a couple of questions, but with you guys, I want to make it a little bit easier. I'm going to ask you, Elaine, first, who you think the best female bodybuilder that's from this Northwest area to ever come out of the Northwest. Who's that?
Oh, we have had so many. You can't pinpoint me to one person. In fact, I was just watching a TV show, and Nikki Fuller was on it, and oh, I know what it was. Don't shoot me, or just shoot me. And Nikki Fuller was on it, and I thought, oh, there's Nikki. She was a good bodybuilder, too, and she looked really great on the show. And so, gosh, we've had Shelly Beatty.
Oh, that's my
Plus,
pick.
now you've got fitness and figure girls coming out of the show.
Come back to that in a minute. You know, and who would you have picked, Brad?
Well, we've got several. Like Shelly Beatty was one of my favorites at the time. And
oh yeah, no doubt.
Mahan Mendoza was obviously a good. She's a good pro. Well, Brenda never actually won the cup, but she's a good Northwest competitor and one of the top pros that's out there today.
I would have to say my favorite pick, though, from the Northwest area would have to be Shelly Beatty. I mean, you know, call it bias, whatever you want to call it, but I think she presented a package. Even to this day, I think she could excel on the stage.
I agree. She had the Corey type physique that was very popular at the time and very popular today.
Okay, now let's go to the men's side of the house, Brad. I'm going to let you have the first pick on this one.
Boy, that's tough. I mean, there's that Kim Farrison guy who won the overall.
Well, okay, let's skip Kim Farrison because I don't think he's in the running on this one. I think you had some great ones coming through here. Who would you pick?
Gee, I don't know. If I can't pick Kim Farrison, I guess it'd probably be God, we've had some real good ones. Like Michael Kindred was good.
Michael was great.
Man, there was a lot of really good ones. Joe Dawson was.
Joe was phenomenal.
I mean, there was a lot.
I never lost to him though, Brad.
That's right. You did.
I never lost to Joe. I'll tell you what, Elaine. What was your pick?
Oh, well, you know what? Once again, that's really hard. I mean, look, we've got Mark Dugdale now.
Mark is good, but I don't think Mark's never won the Emerald Cup.
He didn't? Okay.
No,
Are you
he
sure
took second in the juniors one year.
Okay. Gosh, we've just had so many. I guess probably I'd have to say Dennis Sam, just because he's my friend.
Oh, Dennis is great too. But I'll tell you what, my pick once again, I'm not as politically as you two guys are. I guess I'm not as politically correct. Michael Kindred all the way, no question in my mind.
I'm thinking Nick Yazovnovsky was Nikolai Yazovnovsky was
great.
him and Michael Kindred were two of the best
very good.
as far as muscle density and size and
very good.
Yeah, both of those guys. Like Nikolai, his first pro show, I think he took fourth, which is very good for a new guy to take fourth in a pro show.
Oh, yeah.
So he was a very worthy champion as well.
Okay, Elaine. Now we're talking about two other classes that came a little bit later on. We're talking about the fitness first, and then later we'll go to the figure.
Okay. Well, I'll do figure just because figure's on the top of my head.
Okay.
And she's just one of my favorite girls, so I'm gonna pick her. And also, she has the same name as me. That's Elaine Goodlad.
Very good.
Absolutely gorgeous woman.
Yes,
But I mean, we have so many gorgeous women that have come out of the show that you're trying to make me pick apples and oranges. They're all great.
Oh, yeah. And I'll tell you, just to give you a rundown, the Emerald Cup, out of all the figure women that have competed thus far, all have gone on to become IFBB pros. So that tells you how competitive that is. Hey, Brad, you got a figure pick?
Oh, I thought Sandy Grant and Tangi Johnson was tough.
Both tough.
Tangi Johnson, both of them went on to become pros in fitness, but both of them, I believe, won the overall figure as well.
Hey, you're right. And I'll tell you what, when we talk about the figure, I got a couple of picks I got to go with here. One of them is going to be Misty Yee. I mean, I think Misty Yee is phenomenal. I think Misty Yee would be hard to beat. I don't care where you stack her at. Michelle Troll also is going to be one of my favorites.
Yes, Michelle's going to do very, very well, definitely.
And I agree with that.
And Anna Larson, who just
Anna Larson's really good. Now, when we talk about the fitness end of it, I mean, we could talk about a lot of ladies that come through on the fitness side of the house. But I got one in mind, but let me see what you guys say. I got a funny feeling this time all three of us might agree.
Oh, gosh. Tangi and Sandy, I mean, both of them. I mean, I would hate to have to judge both of them because it would be like, okay, which one would I pick? They're both so good.
I agree with that. They're both phenomenal.
Oh, Brad's got a surprise for us. Here goes the butt.
The very first fitness champion and the very first national NPC fitness champion, Dale Tamita.
Dale Tamita was very good, Brad.
She was tough too, and in her time, I mean, she was just as good as those two.
Yeah, she was. And again, I'm gonna have to agree with Elaine, Brad. So,
I agree with you on that. They're two of my favorites, but don't want to forget.
Never want to forget Dale Tamita. Dale Tamita was very good. I'll tell you what, though, I don't think anybody could beat Tangi Johnson and Sandy Grant. I mean, those two were phenomenal. Right. Now, I'll tell you what, let's talk about those who have not gone on to become professionals yet. Now I'm going to put you guys on the spot. This is where me and Tony kind of had a stumper at. Let's talk about the top, maybe if you want, even a couple of female bodybuilders.
Why don't we defer that to Brad so I can think for a moment?
Okay, and Brad, not necessarily the ones who've gone through the cup, but I think all these women we're going to talk about have.
You mean the Northwest women in particular that have not gone on to be pros? Okay.
Okay, let me throw a couple at you.
Lori Sorge?
Lori Sorge is a good one. That's one of the names that I threw with Tony.
Okay.
How about Laura Otnet?
Laura Otnet, she's one of the top. She's actually won her weight class at the USA's and should have turned pro in at the USA's.
I agree.
Yeah, she could be a pro right now if it was.
Small waist.
Yeah, she's very good. She's probably one of the best, if not the best.
And maybe in top condition when she comes in shape. How about Jerry Deach?
Jerry Deach, excellent. In fact, we just saw her a couple weeks ago, and boy, she looks very, very good. So.
She's probably in the best condition of her life right now. I think she looks phenomenal, and hopefully she'll do well at the USA's. Nicole Berg is training for the USA's as well.
Nicole Berg also very tough. Nicole Berg is. I'll tell you what. Now, when we talk about things like that, the women that are tough and that have gone on and came through the Emerald Cup. Let's go to the other side of the house now. Let's talk about the men's bodybuilding.
Oh, once again, let me think about that.
Okay, see, and you know what? I thought I was a bad historian, but apparently I'm not. I know quite a few guys that have come through.
Rob Turner would be one. He was a phenomenal overall winner.
That was the guy from Montana, right?
It was a guy from Montana. Just
very good
blew everybody away that year.
I remember him.
Yeah, there's that Kim Farrison guy again.
We don't want to mention that guy.
Oh, I know
Hey, how about guys like
Michael Baby Hulk Harris?
Michael was good. I never lost to him either, by the way, Brad.
And Troy Bertelson.
Oh, Troy was good. Troy was good. I'll tell you some of the names we tossed around the hat though, and me and Tony kind of agreed on this. How about guys like Turk Fickling? And how about Andre Scott?
Andre Scott.
So I mean, you guys had some phenomenal guys go through that. Seeing how about Owen McCurdy?
Owen McCurdy's tough. He's technically a pro, I think, now, though, isn't he, Owen McCurdy?
Is he?
No?
Okay, we have to all turn to Tony and ask him that. Tony said no on the sideline.
What was weight class at the national? Oh, you didn't? Okay.
Okay, now when we're talking about the fitness, a long time, and it's tough because these guys got a lot of names stocked up. We're talking about the fitness and the figure both. You guys have any fitness ladies in mind that aren't pros as of yet?
Still turned pro?
Yeah.
Most of our fitness winners have turned pro.
Michelle Mayberry is really
She's good, but how about your current winner, Tammy Al?
Tammy Al, she came out of, she made phenomenal improvements from last year to this year and just came in and won the whole show. She looked great.
I'll tell you what, I'll toss another name at you because it just came to the top of my head also. How about Rose Hendricks?
Yes, Rose Hendricks is excellent. She's going to do very well.
Rose, I actually believe out of that group, and maybe I should say this on film, not to offend Tammy Al at all, but I think Rose Hendricks is going to be the one who excels out of that group.
You could be right, Kim. Time will tell.
I think time's going to tell that story, and I think she's going to do really well. And in fact, that's the girl I'm going to pick as of right now to do very well, who's a current amateur that have not gone on to become a pro. We already talked about some of the figure ladies, of course. Michelle Troll, not a pro yet. Right, and I think we'd agree that she's probably the toughest one here in the Northwest.
She's very tough. She's got that small waist, great V-taper, good delts. I mean, she's just absolutely a beautiful woman, so I think she should do.
Okay, I'm going to throw a couple other names at you. How about Julie Moore? You guys remember Julie Moore from Southern Oregon?
Yes, very, very, very good, too. Yeah, you have to keep reminding me of everybody.
See,
23 years.
Well, plus
I'm getting older.
Well, plus that, I think when you have the pressure on you like these two as promoters, the one thing you don't want to have to always remember is more bodybuilding names. You want to get away from that pressure and kind of relax a little bit. So I guess it's kind of like what goes on in Vegas when they go there. Definitely wants to stay in Vegas. But I'll tell you what, you guys were looking forward to another big show. You guys had how many competitors this year?
We had close to 300, Kim, if maybe even over 300 with the Pro Fitness.
Unbelievable.
We haven't added them all up, but we had right around 300.
You're talking 300 competitors. There's not a show anywhere in the country.
Remember everybody.
Yeah, and I wanted to remember everybody. Come on, you're going to get tested next year. You're not only going to have to remember them by name, but also by number, Elaine.
But they're all, you know what, the one thing about our competitors is they are all very nice. I mean, we have some really great competitors. Everyone backstage is real friendly. I mean, it just goes real smoothly. We have a great staff. The competitors have seemed to be happy, you know, for the most part, and so it kind of runs smoothly back there, and it's as long, I know it's work, but it's still, you know, fun work that we can do.
Well, I'll tell you something. You know, biblically, there's a saying: you reap what you sow. And I think with you guys having the greatest show in the United States of America, you've really worked hard for that, and now you're sowing that, and so are reaping that. I should say you sowed that, and now you're reaping that. Hey, you know what? The best of blessings to you guys in the future. I think you're going to have nothing but success.
Oh, we've been very blessed with our show, and we're blessed to know someone like Kim. We've known Kim for over 20 years. We love this guy.
Hey, I'm trying to keep the mic away from you. You can see this.
And yeah, he really hates that. Swami over here.
The Swami. They're talking about Tony Ruggiero, I think, when they say Swami.
We're talking about Kim.
We're going to put a turban on him, in fact, during his next judging round.
Swami.
Muhammad Tony Ruggiero.
Anyways, we love this guy, and he's been a blessing to know and to have, and we owe a lot of our success to him, and all things to God, of course.
Of course, that's where it goes.
And Kim has just been a pleasure to know, even when Elaine was covering for him at the gym in his early days.
Hey, I'll tell you what, if you guys never went to that one, yeah, not only at the gym, that's a long story. We'll cut that film later. But she also covered for me one time when this guy told me the show started later. She had to MC the show for a while.
No.
Yeah, we'll get Brad, you're done. Okay, I'm back over here. Elaine and closing.
I had to get out there.
Yes, you did. You did a good job.
Well, the one thing, too, I wanted to say that between Brad and I, we can do every little job that has to do with the show. So we have had to do things like somebody didn't show up or whatever.
Like when the MC doesn't show up, let's put Elaine on. We don't know where Kim is. He's probably looking for a new suit or something.
So you can see the kind of fun. Now, I mean, this atmosphere goes on all the time at any Emerald Cup you'll ever see. And I'll tell you what, hang on, go ahead.
I just also wanted to say, too, another thing is that Brad and I have been married for 22 years now.
How did you put up with, okay, we'll talk later.
No, and that has been a real blessing. And believe me, if you can stay married through doing bodybuilding shows, you can stay married through anything.
And he is a good guy. Brad is truly, and you are too, Elaine, two of the nicest people I've ever met. And I mean, you guys really care truly about your competitors. And I'll tell you what, if you guys never have ever seen an Emerald Cup, you are missing the greatest bodybuilding event anywhere in the world. This thing is phenomenal. I mean, you may not see the Olympia style competitors, but I'll tell you what, overall, you talk about a fun show, an exciting show, and a big show to watch. Got to see the Craig family.
He's
Craig
real
Productions.
He's real generous. That's why we love him so much.
All right, signing off for you guys, and hope to God you can come to see the next Emerald Cup bodybuilding show. It's going to be fitness figure, 2-day event. It's coming up next year at Maiden Bauer Center. We'll see you there.